The spare parts for the chainsaw came early yesterday afternoon, so yesterday evening I serviced the chainsaw. Quite amazing what a new spark plug does for the smooth running of an engine. Anyways, since I had the chainsaw, today I've been cracking on with clearing the vegetation and preparing the ground here, as I said in the last video, to plant Ovata in this area and the Regnans in the area just beyond this night ends. Quite astonished at just how much the willow had encroached. You don't really realise it because it happens gradually, but when I first arrived here I remember taking the bush cutter and it was all the way across, and even in a year or so ago I remember being able to walk around both sides of this night ends, so they really had grown out. So all the willow that I felled, and there's quite a lot of it. The other thing that I've been doing today is I made up these racks from some screening that I already had and the plug tray racking, so that makes drying out these logs, and yeah, it's cottage industry, happy to admit that. Very small scale, but I am starting to get some firewood and it's really pleasing to harvest your own firewood. I was also really shocked at the moisture content. If you look back at that video, I still think that is a cracking video. It just shows how much moisture there is in a wet log. So this is probably one of the chunkier bits of willow that I got. So I weighed it and it weighs 2050 grams. Put the measurement in there wrong, but it's 2050 grams, and I photographed it as well. So I would think that's got at least a pint when I stuck the moisture content tester in it, which always reads really low. It was reading around 46%. Again, I took a photo of that. So I would reckon somewhere in the region of 60-65% moisture content. So getting on for 2 pints of water in that, believe it or not. When I dried out the eucalyptus on the top shelf of this polytunnel, it took around 9 weeks for it to get to 5-10% moisture content, and I would estimate that's coming down from around 60-65% moisture content as well. So it'll be interesting to see how long it takes for willow to get down to that sort of 5-10% moisture content. Also interesting to find out what willow burns like. It is grown commercially for firewood. It definitely doesn't grow as fast as eucalyptus. It can be coppiced. It's obviously one of its attractions in Ireland is that it's very climatically tolerant, if that's the correct phrase. Wind resilient, it's deciduous, no issues with the gales. It's also got no issues with the frost, and some eucalyptus varieties do suffer on both counts there. However, as I say, eucalyptus grows much faster. So I reckon I'll probably get about 10-15 bags of firewood out of this lot. It's probably going to take me a couple of days to do it, but for dry firewood, that's probably the equivalent of €120. And also what I'm going to get out of this is I'll get all the brash and I'll take the lawnmower over that and smash it all up, and again I'll use that to help fill in and nourish this area, further prepare it for planting. Just while I'm passing, these poplar are just fabulous at the moment, really healthy, growing vigorously. I wasn't actually sure if I was going to be a fan of poplar, but definitely these are so healthy and growing vigorously. Ovata didn't stand up to the severe cold snap that we had just at the end of 2022 there. I would, however, add that it was very severe here, and it wasn't so much the cold temperature, it was the freezing fog that we got that covered the leaves in a thin layer of ice for almost 2 weeks. Here's the fox again. Hello, fox. Anyways, good stock of Ovata, and I'm definitely going to be planting more. They grew at 2.5 meters per year and can be coppiced, so excellent firewood. And the quality of the stock at the moment is just fantastic, very healthy. I will take the bush cutter with the blade and mash up all the remaining vegetation here, all the brambles. Might take out a couple more small pieces, small shoots of the willow. Definitely not going to get rid of the willow altogether. They create a very dense, very good screen, and even though they're deciduous, they provide quite a lot of shelter on this side. So when I'm planting both the Ovata and the Regnans, they'll provide shelter for those. But yeah, all of this stuff I'll mash up, and that will provide good nutrients. So Foxy, this is the last 2 eggs here. Yeah, what's all this stuff? This stuff wasn't here yesterday, was it, Foxy? Here you go, here's another one, Foxy. Bon appetit. These are Regnans, the other variety that I'm planting in that area that I'm preparing, and Regnans are astonishing. Those I planted here grew 3.5 meters in 1 year. They weren't up to, or only one of them was up to that 2 weeks of freezing temperatures. And as I say, it wasn't the -7 that got them, it was the freezing fog. So I do have a few, plenty more germinating, so I'll have good stock later on in the year. If you're interested, get in touch. Good luck.